If the Chief Medical Officer gets his way, Annalise, we could see community sport kick off right across the country. That's something he has suggested would provide a very clear benefit. There's also an indication that those smaller gatherings could be slowly increased so people could have more people around their home, for example. But also retail businesses may also be able to resume trading somewhat as usual. Don't expect international travel, though, to be given the green light anytime soon. And also those bigger events, attending the football, for example, also doesn't look like that's on the horizon. It is positive, though, to see that curve continue to flatten. As you say, the National Cabinet looking again at modelling today at the rate of community transmission will be one of the things we get after the National Cabinet today. The New South Wales Premier, though, ahead of the National Cabinet meeting, talking about the fact that we will see an increase in the number of cases as they ease restrictions.
If we are going to lift restrictions as we want to, we know the consequences of that will be more people coming into contact with each other, and it means more cases and more people who'll need that hospital care, and that's why we've been using this time to prepare our system and prepare all the things we need.
In Tasmania today, a bit of mixed news. There's been another death overnight in the northwest of that state, but promisingly no new cases of coronavirus detected. But nonetheless, the Premier there has extended the restrictions that have been put in place in the northwest for all non-essential businesses to be closed for another week. He says whilst that's going to be very difficult for a lot of people, this is about trying to eliminate the virus.
It's not a decision that is taken lightly, and I know many in the northwest will be unhappy about this. But we need to get on top of this, we need to stamp this out, we need to crush this virus, and we need to understand right across the community if this virus is there, and importantly to track and trace it aggressively.
In Victoria, one of the states which has been the most forward-leaning in terms of imposing restrictions, we heard from the Chief Health Officer there this morning. He has given a pretty promising indication that he doesn't believe there will be this second wave of infections as they ease restrictions.
I think we're working on the presumption that there will be no second wave. We are working tirelessly to keep this case numbers suppressed. But the potential for waves into the future will be there as long as people are not following the restrictions that we have in terms of physical distancing.
And Trudy, the PM says he'll have fresh eyes for reforms, but things are quickly being ruled out.
Clearly not everything is on the table, Annalise, when it comes to these major reforms trying to kickstart the economy on the other side of this. The Prime Minister and the Treasurer looking at things like IR reform, also major tax reform as a way to try and boost the economy. But already some very clear red lines are being drawn in the sand about what won't be considered. He was the Finance Minister.
So when you say nothing off the table, well, tax increases are off the table because we don't want to make it harder for business to be successful. We want to deliver lower taxes because we want to make it easier for business to be successful.
When you say tax increases are off the table, are you talking about the overall tax burden or individual measures?
Well, our focus is on delivering lower taxes.
Annalise, interestingly, the Labor leader this morning provided some advice of where the government could start on tax. He suggested dusting off the old Henry tax review from back in the Rudd government days. Worth noting that did contain a few controversial proposals, including that super profits mining tax and also a price on carbon.